Hi everyone, can you see me? Hello everyone, can you see me? Can you hear me please? Can you let me know in the comment section? Because I think I can't. Something is wrong. Okay, so something is wrong. Okay, a few minutes please. Okay, so I think if you can see me, I think something is wrong with my camera setting because I can't see anything on my screen. Just give me a few minutes, I'll try to set this up. While I'm setting this up, welcome everyone and happy Saturday. So, as usual, we're going to wait for 10 minutes for others to join us. So, while we're waiting for others to join us, and I'm trying to set up, fix what's happening on my end, if you have any questions, please put that in the comment section and I will respond. Okay, someone just said, I can't see you. Yes, so that means it's not just my end, but I can hear you. Yes, thank you for that confirmation because I can't see anything on my screen as well. So I will try to fix that immediately. Um, Nice to see you too, Merciful. Welcome. So while we're waiting for others, you're the early comers, so you're privileged to ask questions that you want me to give you answers and response to before the class. So please, Ruth, you came early today. I'm so proud of you. So please put your questions in the comment section so I will respond to you before we start the class in 6 minutes. Okay. Meanwhile, something is wrong with my camera setting. Rosalie, good evening. Sorry, you guys, I'm trying to still fix my camera. Just give me a few minutes, please. Okay, so I will just. Hi, good evening, Uche. Okay, guys, so I'm trying to do something. Yeah, good evening, everyone. So I'm just going to go off the live and I'll come back shortly, please. Let me see if that will reconnect my camera. Can you hear me? Hi, hi. Can you hear me? Please let me know if you can hear me. Can you just put in the comment section if you can hear me, please? Okay, so yeah, you can hear me. I guess we're going to work with that because I don't know why. Okay. If you can hear me, it's fine. If you all can hear me, it's fine then. So, welcome everyone. I'm so sorry for the technical issues. Well, it's good you can hear me. Well, I don't know why the camera is actually having some issues today. So, welcome everybody. This is week 4, section 1. And before we start with the class, I want to ask, does anyone have questions regarding previous class that you want me to give response to? Can you please put that in the comment section? Does anyone have questions before we start today's class? Can you please put that in the comment section, please? So I will briefly attend to that before we proceed with today's class. If there's no question, can you tell me no question so I can move ahead? If you have question, Uche, just go ahead to ask. If you have a question, anyone that have a question, please go ahead to ask your question. Why you say yes, just type in your question along with your yes. Okay. So if there's no question, then I will start with the class for today. First of all, thank you so much for teaching and the patience so far. I was working on my public IP address and I was working on my public IP address and I had issues. It wasn't loading on my browser. I tried. Okay, so roots. That's what troubleshooting is one thing I wanted to stretch before I start today's class because I think most people you are not actually giving me the energy I want for my effort. So I think from this class, your assessment style and pattern is going to change. You're not going to leave attending this boot camp where I am your tutor and you don't know how to troubleshoot. You don't know how to actually go about researching issues. That is one core skills that you need to have as an IT person and in general when it comes to life issues. So, Ruth, let's start with you. Tell me, how did you troubleshoot? Ruth, can you tell me, put a detailed comment in the comment section rather. Tell me how you troubleshoot this public IP address issue. Okay. So, Faith say I don't have a question. Just Ruth, I'm waiting for you. Okay, I don't have a question. Just that I have been having issues with my public IP address. What issue? Can you be specific with the issue, please? What issue are you having with your public IP address, please? Please, guys, try to be specific so we can just address the question once at a time. Okay. So, Ruth, can you tell me the steps you took in troubleshooting? While we're waiting for Ruth to answer and Faith as well. So, when it comes to you, let's live life in general because you need troubleshooting skills as well in every field that you are. But in an IT field, it is core. You really need troubleshooting skills. That's the truth. Now, when you face an issue, you're deploying or installing a server, trying to build a project, and you run into technical issues. There are steps you need to follow to troubleshoot. You have to learn and you have to troubleshoot yourself before you can even reach out to colleagues and your senior manager because they would ask you, have you troubleshoot? That is the first thing they will ask you. Have you tried fixing the issue yourself? They will ask you, what is the issue? At least you need to know the issue and you need to know that you've done your part and you were able to do your part. That is when they see you as competent, not when you don't even know or you've not even tried to do your part at all. It's not going to help, to be sincere with you. So now let's see what Ruth said. Ruth says, okay, firstly, I read the error message. That is very nice, Ruth. Yes. So you, when troubleshooting, first of all, you have to understand the error message, okay? Which is what Ruth have done. I read the error message. I should turn off my proxy network sub, okay? I did that and checked again. It didn't work. Okay, so now Ruth, one thing is this: you got the error message right. And now when it said you should turn off your proxy network stuff, okay? You said you did and it didn't work. Maybe you actually did not turn off the right proxy network, which it was talking about. Okay? So how sure are you actually turned off the right proxy network? How sure are you? Now, secondly, when troubleshooting, we're very lucky. See, okay, first of all, before I go into this other part, what other means I want to see. When troubleshooting, you see, be it an application, be it a charger you bought, you know, you can also try to troubleshoot issues from your technical stuff you have at home. Every of this company, they have detailed documentation of every solution and product that they have. Okay. So when you're troubleshooting and you face a challenge, when you're troubleshooting and you face a challenge like that, what do you need to do? First, identify the problem, which would have done. Secondly, go through the details. Okay, go through the details on the documentation. Somebody I tried talking to Mariam from Slack. Thank you so much, Mariam. Okay, so go through the details on documentation. The essence of every company having a documentation is to provide a guide, which I'm going to show us specifically with AWS for today. Okay, go through the documentation. See, go you specifically. You don't have to go through the long documentation. No, go through the documentation on problem troubleshooting issues. Okay, now if you can't find the answer to your issue over there or the challenges you're facing, then you take it to your browser. There are a lot of information on. We have search engines, we have Google search engines. Today we have agents to help us troubleshoot. And that is one of the things we're going to learn here today. You take it to this browser, you have to type specifically. So in the case of Ruth, she said the error message was saying that she should turn off her proxy network. So you have to specifically put in what was in there. Okay, so which says for the proxy, I had to ask ChatGPT to navigate what proxy I should turn off, and I did. So did it work or not? Which that is what I want to know. Did it work or not? Were you able to troubleshoot it successfully or not? Let me know. So now she has gone to the other stage, which is asking agents. There are agents now that gives you answers, even your search engine. Now you have also what is called AWS it didn't. Okay. So you have what is called AWS agent. That agent, that AWS what's called AI, is connected to your account. It is connected to your account. I'm going to show you how to use that one specifically. Every services that you encounter or any service that you deployed in your AWS account, that AI can practically read what is going on in your AWS account. If you face an issue, it can tell you this is the particular place you're facing an issue and this is what to do. And Ruth, I'm telling you 100% you didn't do as in you didn't turn off the right proxy. That is if you actually did. What is a proxy to start with? Okay, we need to know what we've been asked to do. If we don't know, how are we going to do it? So for what's it called, AWS have specifically an AI inbuilt into every account. So this AI can read what you're doing and help you to troubleshoot. It can give you direct detailed issue on what is going on and steps on how to. Okay, so with that being said, I'm going to show us as well. From today onwards, your assessment, I am not providing a step-to-step guide anymore. You all will learn to troubleshoot. I will just give you your assessment and I'm going to show you in this class how to get answers, how to find information. you all are going to learn to troubleshoot. No more step-to-step guide with your assessment anymore. Okay, so Ruth, well done. You really did well, but I think it didn't work. You were not able to because probably we didn't turn off the right thing or the right network that you were being asked to. But trust me, you did well. Okay, first of all, understanding the error you're getting, and then going off to ChatGPT, and then using your search engine and all of that. You did well. Okay, so I'm going to show you how you can, since you if you're deploying using AWS, how you can jump in and use the AWS AI. Okay, so yeah, well done everyone. So now, with this being said, sorry again for the technical issue that we encountered early. So we're just going to manage this since you all can see me. So with this being said, our class for today is week 4, section 1. And for this section, I will be introducing you to Lambda. Okay? So I will be introducing, add Steph, welcome. I will be introducing you to Lambda. Okay? And also RDS. Okay? So that is what I will be introducing you to for this class. It's my browser. Okay, so if you're joining us for the first time, welcome to the for both cloud computing boot foundation. So for this class, this is an interactive class where you get to learn even if you're a beginner. No more yes, roots, no more step to step. Everyone will learn to troubleshoot, okay? So if you're joining us for the first time, welcome and nice to have you. My name is Emanuela and I am a solutions architect. I'm the instructor for this bootcamp. So this is week 4. And so what we'll be covering today is the learning objective for today is, for today's class, you're going to know what is Lambda. Even if I've briefly explained Lambda, we're going to know what is Lambda, why, and we're going to compare Lambda to EC2. Okay. When should you use a Lambda compute or when should you use an EC2 service? Okay. You're going to understand the concepts of serverless computing, identify common Lambda use cases. You're going to understand what is Amazon RDS, okay? You're going to also understand why businesses manage database. Launch, we're going to do an hands-on on both. I'm going to show you how to launch Lambda and how to launch Amazon RDS because this is going to be your assessment for today. So please pay close attention and please bear in mind, no more step to step. So you have to pay close attention, okay? No, don't say that. No, please don't say that. Everyone was welcomed. No, please, digital coach, no. Everyone was welcome. I welcome everyone. Digital coach, I guess you joined when I was done welcoming everybody. I did welcome everyone. And digital coach, welcome as well. Okay, so please know. So the next the next thing we'll be talking about is connect an application to database. Okay. Please pay close attention because this is what you'll be doing for your assessment. Now, recap what we learned last week. Last week, you got to know what was S3, the objects, what is an object, what is the difference between buckets and objects, and you got to understand what is object key, and I explained what an S3 storage class is. We understood what is versioning and application. We applied S3 security for the first class, and the second class we opened our public IP address, which was where majority of you deployed. What's this? I'm looking for a name. I've forgotten her name. I was really impressed with your assessment. Why did I forget her name? Ad, is there anyone Adaku here? I think so. I think that's her name. Is there anybody Adaku? Yeah, I think that's her name. I was really impressed with your assessment. I was really impressed. Yes, I think that's your name, Adaku. but I forgot your last name. So I want to say well done. I was really, really impressed with your assessment. So you really gave a detailed information why you did this, why you did that, and that is really what organizations are looking out for. Don't just blindly do something. You have to tell your boss, you have to tell um are they Steph, stop, you're not a Adako. How come? Oh, are you kidding me right now? You're being serious. Okay, so are they Steph, are you a Adako? Are you for real? Are you being serious? Oh, okay, that's nice. That's good to know. Well done, well done. I was really impressed with your assessment. If that is you, hope you're not claiming someone else's name. Adako will come and take back her name soon. Okay, so now that is what we'll be covering. And from last class week, we also created and managed a S3 buckets. Okay, so hope everyone understood now what is an S3 bucket, why an S3 bucket needs to be private, and why it needs to be secured. Right? Okay. Okay. Well done, Art Steph. Well done. So well done, everyone, as well. So impressed. Oh, okay. Well done, everyone, as well. So impressed with your assessment and how far you've gone so far. From compared from the previous assessments to the one we had last week, I've seen improvement with some persons, and I am really impressed. And I want to encourage everyone to keep doing the work you're doing. And when I say I'm not going to give a step-to-step guide for assessment, is not to punish anyone. It's for me to build your troubleshooting skills. Okay, because if I give you an assessment and tell you go and do this, now you want to pass your assessment, obviously. So you're going to do a research and try to figure out when an error occurs. Someone sent me an assessment and she just told me this wasn't working. I could not do anything. I almost burst laugh. Really, I almost started laughing. I was like, what is this? You couldn't even tell me you tried. Okay, see, Ruth said she tried this and she tried that and it didn't work. At least you should try doing something. And for what Ruth have tried doing when she tried troubleshooting, she has learned one or two from it, even if it end up not working. But she did something which I'm really impressed about. Okay. If you're in an organization and you encounter an issue and your boss tell you what happened and you're just there moping at him, the next day you're sacked. Okay, so starting from the class for today, what is a database? Can someone put in the comment section, what do you understand by a database? What do you understand by a database, please? When I say database, what do you understand by a database? Can you tell me what you understand by a database? So let's say I'm your boss now and I'm telling you, go fetch me data or go query a data from your database. Can you tell me what you understand? Can you tell me what you understand by database? A collection of data. Okay. AdStep, I won't be calling you AdStep again. Now Ada could say a collection of data. This is Ada is your name. Okay, so Ajoke said database storage stores structured data. Okay, any other person want to tell us what a database is? A collection of data stored in a computer system. Okay. Any other person? A storage that contains a lot of information. Okay. You all are correct. Okay. That is what a database. So a database. Okay, can you tell me why is a database has a where application is stored electronically? Okay. So can you all tell me how is a database different from collection of information? How is a database different from a storage? Can you tell me what's the difference between a database and a storage system? What is the difference between a database and a storage system? When I say this is a database and this is a storage system, what are the difference? Okay, so Imabong said a database is a collection of data that has an information of a person. No, Imabong is not necessarily a person. Database information doesn't have to be a person. Okay. Yes, your definition is correct, but it doesn't have to be a person, okay? A storage system you can store images, background files. Yeah. So wait, I don't understand. Annie, what are you is a storage is this the definition of database right now? Okay, now we've done with that one. I said give me the difference between the database and a storage system. Database manages the data being stored. Okay, okay, okay. Adaku said database manages it. Okay, any other person? The difference between a database and a storage system. Any other definition? Any other person? Okay, so you all are correct. So database is basically database is the essence of it, the structure of it is to store informations. And it doesn't just store information randomly. It stores information in a structured or an unstructured way, but the information have to be in a way stored in a way that it can be queried. Okay, the information has to be stored in a way it can be queried. So now let me tell you like the simplest example or difference that you can differentiate between a storage and a database. So now for a storage, someone said the storage is I think it's Adako that said the storage is where the database is stored, which is true. But the thing is this, some storage, like a storage is where you store like one basically everything. Your objects, your files, your contacts, just name it, anything. Okay? Anything. You don't need to store a specific format in there. Okay. Now, but for a database, the essence of a database, yes, exactly. This is what it is. Yes, digital coach, you got it right. Yes, it stores raw, organized datas. Yes, this is what I wanted to say. A digital code, thank you. A database store raw organized, it has to be organized. Now, every database, there are different types of database out there, okay? So every database has its future. And one have a feature that the other doesn't have. One is better than the other depending on what you want to do. But their essence, the purpose of a database is to store and organize data in a way that it can easily be queried. Okay? So for database, you don't store objects in it. Like you know how you store images and all of that. You don't store that in your database. Okay? So your database is structured and yes, so your data for your database, you don't store image. You know how we store our image in S3 bucket, right? So for a database, we don't store objects. Objects, that's the right word. We don't store objects in it. So we store data. Okay. And now this data can be both structured and unstructured data, which I'm going to explain the structured data in this section. Tomorrow we'll cover the unstructured data. Okay. Okay, with that being said, that is the difference between a database and a storage. And now, database, you can see the example on the slide where you store customer password, you store product information, payment, like we all put in our card details when we're opening AWS, payment information, and all of that. Okay, these are data. Database are the essence of database is to store data informations, not objects. Okay, that is the core difference between a storage and a database. Okay. So now, what is an have you ever heard of the word Amazon RDS before? Can you put it in the comment section? Have you heard of the word Amazon RDS? If yes, tell me what it is. If no, tell me you've not. Have you heard the word Amazon RDS? Have you heard of the word Amazon RDS before? Can you hear me? Oh my God, what's happening? Can you all hear me? Can you hear me now? Okay, so you can hear me now? I'm seeing no, I'm seeing yes. Okay, okay, thank you. I don't know what's wrong with this platform today. I'm so sorry. Okay, so now the last question I asked is what is okay, thank you all. So the last question I asked is if you've heard of the word Amazon RDS, and some of you said let's see what you have. So I asked if you've heard of the word. Thank you everyone. Thank you everyone for confirming that you could hear me. Okay, so Adaku said relational database, that is Amazon RDS. Okay. Ajoke said relational database. Okay. Any other answer? Why are we searching the first assessment? Okay, so digital coach, what is it? What is it? What is Amazon RDS? So from your research, what did you get? What did you learn that is what it does? That is the essence. So have okay, aside from Adako, aside from I think it was Chioma, is it Chioma? No, no, Ajoke, I think it was Ajoke. Yes, aside from Ajoke, aside from when I say Adako, I'm referring to Ada Steph, Ad Steph, okay? And digital coach now that said that she has come across it. Have anyone else come across the word Amazon RDS? Maybe from your research, just like digital coach. Put in the comment section. If yes, let me know. So have anyone come across the word um have any other person come across the word Amazon RDS? No, okay. Thank you so much, Ruth. Okay, so what is an Amazon RDS? An Amazon RDS is an Amazon relational database service. Okay, this one is owned by Amazon. We have different relational database. Can anybody listen the section like Ajoke and Adaku and who else? Digital coach that have come across Amazon RDS. Can you listen the comment section, the one you know? So Amazon RDS, it helps you set up and operate relational like yes, yes. So now this is for AWS, okay? So Amazon RDS is an AWS relational database service, okay? So it's managed like the servers are managed by AWS. Okay, it has a managed servers instead of you managing your servers. Amazon manages everything for you. The only thing you manage here is your database. Okay, so it's a managed AWS relational database. Okay, so when I say it is managed, I hope we understand what I mean. It is managed. It means you don't have to start bothering yourself configuring your servers. Okay, Amazon already have a configured server for you. Yes. Yes. So we have different relational database. We have MySQL, we have PostgreSQL, we have Oracle, we have a lot. We have, I think, Microsoft. We have a lot of them. Okay. We have a lot of them. So this particular one is for AWS. This one is owned by AWS. Okay. So yeah, so that is what an AWS Amazon RDS is an AWS relational database, and it is managed by AWS. And this particular database also, in as much as it is owned by Amazon, it also supports other database. Okay, it supports other database. I think in the next slide, I think I did that. I did show that. Yes, so you don't get to manage the installation, you don't manage the software upgrade, you don't manage backups, you don't manage monitoring. All of these things are managed by AWS. Okay, the only thing you are responsible for is your data. You're responsible for how your data is securely installed or deployed in the service and how you query your data. That is the only thing you're responsible for. The other things are managed by AWS. So that is why it is widely used. Okay. Now, like I said, there are other database engines. So Adaku mentioned MySQL and Oracle, and Ajoke mentioned Postgres. So these are the different database engines that we have. Where is it has no Roots? Do you understand? Just Roots that says she doesn't understand. Roots, do you understand now what it means by AWS relational database? Let me know in the comment section if you understand before I move forward, okay? Roots, please put in the comment section if you understand now what I mean by AWS relational database, okay? So now, this, in as much as RDS, when I say RDS, I still mean Amazon RDS, okay? Most times it's just called RDS. So, in as much as RDS is an AWS owned a relational database, it supports other database engines like MySQL, Postgres SQL, Oracle SQL, Maria database, Microsoft SQL services, and a lot more. Okay, in as much as it is owned by AWS, but they support others. So it's one of the reasons why people use it. Another reason why people use it is because it supports other database engine as well. Okay, it gives them options. Okay, it gives them options. So what do you understand when I say database engine? What do you understand by MySQL, Postgres SQL, Maria database, Oracle, Microsoft Word SQL? What do you understand? Thank you so much, Ruth, for confirming. Love you, girl. What do you understand? Okay, Imabon says she's a bit confused. Okay, can you tell me where are you confused? Are you confused about what is a database, or are you confused about Amazon RDS, or are you confused about the database engine? Imabon, please, can you clarify? Put in the comment section where you're confused, okay? Just tell me what you're confused about. Okay, so Digital Coach said, while we wait for Imabon, you can search or query it. Does that mean we will be learning? No. Ewo. Oh my god, this guy is a clown. Ewo, what? You're not learning SQL, okay? I'm going to do an hands-on. You're not learning SQL, okay? You're not going to learn SQL. God have mercy. You're not going to learn SQL. Yeah, you're going to query a little bit of data that you're going to choose your choice, okay? But you're not learning SQL, okay? You're not going to learn SQL. So the engine is the software that keeps. Thank you. You hit the nail on the head. The engine is the software that actually stores the data. Okay, when we say database engine, so it's just like the database is like you having a drawer. Okay, so now this drawer has different partitions in it. So that partition inside is the engine we're talking about. What's where you query, what actually perform the work, like at this step said, what actually performed the work. So that is what we mean by an engine. Okay. So let's see if Imam has respond. Okay, so you don't understand Amazon. No, it's not RDL. Sorry, if maybe you're hearing L from me, it is RDS. Okay, so it is Amazon RDS, not L. Okay, so Amazon RDL, I will explain again for you, Imam. Amazon RDL, we have different database. Okay, but Amazon RDX X is an AWS owned relational database. We have Microsoft, we have Oracle, we have a lot of them, but the RDS is solely owned. It is owned by AWS. Yes, yes, RDS. Thank you, love. It is owned by AWS. Okay, and now for the database engine, the engine is what carries out the work. Okay, it's actually what functions, what stores your data, where you can query your data when you actually run an SQL, which you're not going to do. Don't be scared. But when you query a data, the engine is what does the work, search for the information, the data in the engine, sorry, the data in your database, and give you the response that you asked for. Okay, that is what an engine. What is an engine in its layman terms? An engine is something that actually does if carry out a function, right? Like it works, it operates. So when you say a database engine, it's what actually runs your query, what goes into your database and fetch your data for you. Is that understood, Imabon? Okay, is that understood? Imabon, please let me know if that is understood. Oh, okay, noted. I understood the engine. Thank you. A little bit. Yes. It's owned by AWS, yes. Okay, Imab, I'm letting you know, okay? So now we move forward. So this AWS relational database supports all of these data engines, my SQL, Postgres SQL, and all of that, okay? That is why a lot of people adopt it because it gives them a lot of options, okay? Thank you so much, Imab, for confirming. Now moving forward, why use Amazon RDS? So why do we use it? We use it because it's easy to install. It is managed by AWS. It scales. It has security. It has high availability and automates patching and backup. Okay. Why it is used? It is used because it's you don't need to manage anything. Organization use Amazon RDS because they don't need to manage anything. It is solely managed by AWS. You just come, you put in your data, you configure your database, you create your database, you put in your data, and that is all you need to do. AWS manages the others for you. Okay, so that is why it is adopted. Okay, now moving forward, introducing the serverless. Now, what is serverless? Do we all know what is serverless? Remember, I talked about serverless. I have always talked about serverless. Do we all know when I say serverless? Do you all know when I say this service is serverless? What do I mean? When I say this service is serverless, what do I mean by serverless? Can you put it in the comment section, please? What do I mean by serverless? Can you put that in the comment section, please? When I say a service is serverless, um, pay as you go. Thank you. Any more definition? Any more definition what you understand by serverless? What do you understand when I say serverless? What do you understand when I say serverless? Any other definition of a serverless? You don't manage the services AWS does for you. Yes. Okay, that's what is a serverless. So when I say a serverless, it means you don't manage your servers. Okay, AWS does it for you. Just what the data coach says. Okay, that is a serverless um service. And again, you pay as you go. It is a pay as you go service. It is a pay as you go service. So that is why company that don't want their service or they don't want the solution to run 24 hours, it's not needed for their business. They go for serverless services because it saves them money. They only pay for what their users use or what their organization uses. Okay. That is a serverless service. Okay. So what is, have you heard the word Amazon AWS Lambda? Have you heard the word AWS Lambda? Can you let me know? Yes, that is what it means, Hazi. Have you heard of the word AWS Lambda before now? Does anyone know what is an AWS Lambda? What is an AWS Lambda? So can you tell me what is an AWS Lambda? Okay, so you had it in class the first day. Okay. Okay, I'm going to explain. Why doing my first assessment? Yes. Yes, I know I gave yes. I can remember I gave you to write 5 different yes AWS services. So what is an AWS Lambda? Basically a serverless compute. Thank you. That is what it means, Adako. Any other person have a different definition from Adako? Okay, so an AWS Lambda is platform as a service. Yes. So an AWS Lambda, it's a serverless AWS compute. Okay, it's a serverless, and it is used. It is one of the AWS compute that is widely used. You know why? Because it is a pay as you go service. You only pay for what your business is using, for what your users are using. Okay, I'm going to explain Hazi. I'm explaining now. Okay, so you only get to pay for what your users are using, for what you use. You don't just pay for a random thing that is just there, because you don't just pay because I deployed an AWS services and it's not being used. My business are not running. I don't have any customers, so I have to pay. No, so you only pay, someone said pay as you go is a serverless. You only pay for what you use. So Hazi, an AWS Lambda is a serverless service, okay? Yes. Uche said it. Is a server Uche she said it is a serverless service. Okay? You only pay for what you use. Hazi, can you hear me? So you only pay for what you use. And it is under the AWS compute services. Okay, when I say compute service is the engine that actually runs the work. Okay, when let's say now, when you logged into YouTube for today, when you clicked in the YouTube channel name, it is Lambda, which is a compute service. It is a compute service that went to the back end and brought out the channel and showed me to you on your screen. Okay, so it is on the compute AWS services product services class. Okay, thank you so much, Hazi. Thanks, love. Okay, now moving forward to the next. So AWS Lambda is a serverless service. You only pay as you go. Okay, start the server, run your code, stop the server. You pay for only what you use. So that is what it is. Okay. So what does serverless mean? We've talked about what serverless mean. So now let's compare. You know, we've actually covered another AWS compute service, which is EC2, right? Can you remember? EC2 falls under the AWS compute service. Can you remember? So let me share that screen with you. Okay. I'm sharing this particular page with you because you guys will be using this page a lot. 1 minute. You guys will be using this particular page a lot since I won't be giving you a step to step. So this page, you can see on my screen. It is the AWS documentation page here. You can see it. This is an AWS documentation page. The essence of this page is to give you more knowledge, to help you answer questions, to help you understand the reason for why AWS have any service. Okay. So remember, this is EC2. Okay, you can see it. Amazon Elastic Compute. So the reason I'm showing you this service, one, because this service will be useful for your assessment going on. No more step-to-step guide. You have any challenge, come to this service. I'm going to show you others before we round up this class. Okay, so now you can see Lambda here. So let me show you how you identify the products. Okay, so you come here, you go down. Sorry. So get started. You see here where you said find products. You see where it says all products. You see all of these things here. All of this. These are different AWS products. You can see the agentic toolkits. You can see API. These are all AWS products. Okay. So now, if you want to identify any products, you can come here. Here where it says all products, you scroll down and you check for the product that you want. Remember, we're talking about the compute. You click on compute. Okay, it gives you all of the compute. You can see this is all of AWS compute product that they have. You can see Lambda is under compute. You can see it here. Lambda compute, and you can see it is on the serverless side. Okay, let me show you EC2. You can see EC2 here. Okay, it's under compute also, but it doesn't have serverless because it is not serverless. So did you guys see that? Did you see it? So that is how, this is the document you need to be working with going forward. Okay. Okay. So now, what is the difference between Lambda and, no, it will not choke. Faith, don't worry, it will not choke. Rather, you guys are going to learn a different skill. Okay. So what is the difference between Lambda and EC2? Can someone put in the comment section? Yes, roots, please, everyone. That document. If you have any challenge, go through that document. Okay. If you're coming to my inbox, even, I would ask you, have you referred to that document? What did the document say? If you tell me no, that is when I will not even answer you. Only when you go through those documents and the other means I'm going to show you to actually know what you're doing and troubleshoot, that is only when I will respond to you. Okay. So can someone tell me what is the difference between Lambda and EC2? What is the difference between Lambda and EC2? I just need three differences. What is the difference between a Lambda and an EC2? Both are compute, remember. This is what actually carries out the work in your application. Okay, a compute is what carries out the work in your application. So let's see what Adaku says. So an EC2 gives you a server to manage, while Lambda lets you to run codes with yes, that is what it takes without managing the server. So an EC2, okay, the difference between an EC2 and Lambda. So an EC2, you get to manage your servers. So if your organization, if your company is saying, no, we need to manage our servers because of the nature of the project or because of the nature of our application or because of security reasons, we don't want AWS to manage our servers for us. We want to manage our servers. You are going to choose you're going to choose EC2. You'll tell your boss, okay, we're going to use EC2. But if your boss is telling you no, boss is telling you, Imabom, Roots, Hazy, at this step, all of you, I don't want to manage any server. I only want to just go to AWS and deploy our code. We don't want to manage anything. Then you use Lambda. Okay. And your boss is also telling you, I don't want to waste money. I only want us to pay for what we use. You also use Lambda. Okay. Because Lambda, you pay for what you use. But EC2, even if you don't have any customers, you're still going to pay. Okay. But with Lambda, if you don't have any customers and your customer do not use your site, your website, your application, you would not pay for it. You only pay for what you use. Okay. So that means for AWS Lambda, we wouldn't be able to configure our IP address ourselves. No. For this is not where you configure your IP address, my love. This is what runs your back end, your application. Okay. So have Annie. So this is not where you generate your IP address. Okay. So this service is not where you generate your IP address. When you hear a compute service, this is the like the brain of your application. This is the service where, if this is a service that responds, that goes to your back end to bring out the data that you have, the solution that you have, and respond, like give that response to your users. This is not what generates your IP address for you. Your IP address is being generated on the network level. Were you here when we did the network IP address? Annie, were you here when we generated our IP address, public IP address? Those are generated on the network level, okay? This is a different level. Here, you don't generate IP address, okay? You generate, Annie, let me know. Were you in the class or where we did the network um network course, which was week 2? That is where you generate your IP service, okay? Which is the VPC. Yes, that is where you generate your IP addresses. So this, you don't structure your IP addresses here. Your IP addresses is for your network-based services, okay? Someone says she have a question. That is Ruth. So Ruth say, I have a question. So if someone doesn't use the EC2, or a customer will still, yes, Roots. Even if your customer, nobody uses your EC2, so far you deployed your EC2, you will still pay for it. Yeah, EC2 is very expensive. Yes, Roots, you're right. If nobody uses it, you will still have to pay for it. That is why people go for Lambda. Yes. Only if your business needs, see the difference and the benefit of using both. Let me show you. Let me tell you rather. If you want to have managed control, you want to manage your servers, you want control over your servers, you go for EC2. If you don't want control over your servers, but you're looking at costs, you go for Lambda. Okay, that is how it is. Because EC2, even if nobody comes visit your website, nobody downloads your application, and your compute is run on AWS EC2, you will still pay for it, my love. Would you will still pay for it, okay? So please take notes so that you don't go and tell your boss, when your boss tell you, I don't want to pay for a service that we will not use, you go and use EC2. Your boss will sack you, Ruth. So please, okay? EC2, you use EC2 if your boss tells you, I want to have control over my servers. I want to be the one to choose my servers. I want to be the one to manage my servers. You go for EC2. If your boss tells you, no, I don't want to manage my servers, but I am looking at cost, you go for Lambda, okay? So what is the next one? If you see EC2, we pay even if the user are not. Yes, you pay even if the users are not. Nobody's visiting your site. So the application isn't public but private. You can relate on OS operation systems, since it doesn't have. I don't know what you're talking about, Annie. Annie, for this particular service, this is not where you determine if your network is going to be public or private. Please, can someone put in the comment section what service helps you determine your IP address location? Your IP address location is being determined on your network level, okay? Not on this level, and that is your VPC, okay? When you're configuring your network, that is where you determine if you want a public or a private IP address, not on your compute. You don't have that options here, okay? You only, whatever you deploy on your network, you only connect it to these services. This is not where you determine if that is going to be public or private, okay? So um, Annie, please let me know if you understand, okay? EC2 will charge you. Yes, EC2 will charge you. Lambda, this wood's good. Yeah, VPC is where you determine your network service, okay? So you can stop EC2 but not terminate. Now, the thing you should know is this. If you decide to stop your EC2 but not terminate it, your public IP address will change. Anytime you stop your EC2, of course, Amazon, AWS will not keep them for you. Anytime you stop your EC2 and start it again, your public IP address changes. Please note, If you're stopping your EC2 and starting it, your public IP address changes. Ajoke, hope that is understood. And if your public IP address is changing, you should know it's going to affect your business. Okay? So most times that is not an option. Okay? Your public IP address changes anytime you stop and start an EC2. Noted. Okay, so moving forward, now we're going to go on hands-on. So the hands-on we'll be doing today, please pay attention. So the hands-on we'll be doing today, I'm going to cover, I'm going to show you how to connect your Lambda, okay? How to deploy a Lambda and connect this Lambda to your SNS. And SNS is an AWS service, which I'm going to show you. This is where you get your SMS notification. Does anyone know what is an AWS SNS? Have you heard of it before? Put that in the comment section. Okay, so that is what we're going to cover for your hands-on. So right now I'll be switching to my AWS console. Okay. So please pay close attention. Remember, no more spoon feeding step to step. No more step to step for your no more step to step for your assessment. So please pay close attention, okay? I'm going to give you everything, all the information you need to be able to succeed at carry out assessment. So let me go to my AWS page. So can you all see my AWS page, please? If it changes, I thought that's why we have an elastic. Okay, so now the thing is this, Annie. Yes, so two options. If you use an elastic IP address, your IP address is fixed. Okay, that is a good catch. If you use an elastic IP address, your IP address is fixed. But remember, elastic IP address, you're still paying for it, Derry. It's not free. Elastic IP address is not is not free. So now the option is this. If your boss is saying, okay, let's say you're working in an organization and your boss is saying, I want to have control over my servers. The compute option, one of the compute options to go for. There are other computes, okay? There are other ones there, which we're not discussing in this bootcamp. That is why you read that up also. But if your boss is saying, I want to manage my servers, you go with EC2, okay? Now, if they are saying we want to stop and start our servers, let's say now you want to stop your servers, you want to stop your compute when you notice that users are not always visiting our site during the afternoons. So we want to save money. We don't want our compute to run from 12 a.m. also from 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. We want to stop our compute and we're going to use an elastic IP address. You will still pay for an elastic IP address. Because elastic IP address, yes, it's going to give you an address that is solely yours, but you have to pay for it. So now you're going to do the comparisons between how much are you paying for your elastic IP address and how much will you be paying if you deploy with Lambda. So that is why when you're building a website, an application, a software, the decision is more important than even rushing to do anything, because the decision you make determines and is going to affect your business as well. So if your goal, we call it trade-off, okay? If your main trade-off is I want to manage my compute, then you can go with EC2 and you can use elastic IP address, but know you're going to spend more. Okay, so is that understood, Annie? Let me know if it's understood, okay? So right now, I'm going to start with RDS, okay? So now for you to find your RDS, you come here, you type in RDS, okay? Once you type in RDS, it opens, so you can go clicking. Once you click on that, you can see create, okay? Before we create, I'm going to walk you through all of this, which are the different components, okay? Where you see in your RDS, okay? For the dashboard, which is the page where we are right now, this is the dashboard page. For this page, this dashboard page gives you information about everything that is going on in your RDS service. If I have deployed any solution, I'm going to see it here. You can see it, okay? Recent event that I deployed was 12. My snapshots are more like a duplicate, okay? AWS RDS is a duplicate of your file so that in case if you lost any of your database, you can always get that from your snapshot. But please, when you're terminating your service after your hands-on, make sure you terminate your snapshot, okay? If you leave it, you're going to be charged for it, okay? So please take note of this snapshot. Snapshot is where you save your copy of your database. And this snapshot is automatic. Once you deploy, AWS creates a snapshot for you and stores your data in the snapshot. So in case if you lost your main data, you come here and you retrieve it. So now this is our AWS data instance, okay? And we have the data clusters, okay? So now you can click here. This is where you see your database. Assuming I have any database, I'm going to see it over here. If you want to create and you don't want to create from the dashboard, which is this one where you click create, you can still come here to click create over here, okay? Over here, you click your create database, okay? You put down the drop button, full configuration, what's it called? Restore from S3, but we're not going to restore from entry from S3. We're just using the normal configuration, okay? Which is the express configuration. Okay, so now this is where you query. Okay, if you have a data, you can see it says no data to query over here. So this is where you query your datas. If you have a data, that is where you query. Okay, and now this gives you, when you say CloudWatch is where you are going to see the logs. It's open in 1 minute. Oh, so it's out of that place. Okay. So when you see CloudWatch, I'm going to show you CloudWatch as well. So CloudWatch, this is where you see the logs. Do we understand when I say logs? Do you understand when I say logs? Logs is where you see detail of what is happening in your account. Okay. Can we set up Lambda if we are still having issues troubleshooting? Yes, you can. Lambda has nothing to do with IP address, my love. Okay. It has nothing to do with IP address. A lot to take note of. Yes, a lot, Terry, but not really a lot. Not really a lot. Don't really see it as a big deal. Okay, so now your cloud watch is where it's what gives you detailed information on what is going on in your AWS account, the services, the errors, what is functioning and what is not functioning. That is the AWS Cloud Watch. Okay, it watches over your cloud database. Okay, that's what it means. Now, this snapshot keeps duplicates of your database. So once you create a database, it creates a snapshot is generated and is saved here for you. And the essence of the snapshot is so that you can retrieve your data if in case you mistakenly delete any data from your database. Okay. Now, this the export to S3. If you want to export your database to S3 to store it or to share it, you can export. Then this is automatic backup to back up your database. You set it up here if you want an automatic backup for your database. This is reserved instance. That one you don't really need to bother about. So now let me show you how to create a database. So you come here and you click. So now someone asks, we're using the Express, you're creating the Express, okay? You're clicking this Express configuration. So I think it was Ajoke. Is it Ajoke? Someone asked if we're going to be querying data. No, you're not querying data. You're not querying data. You're not working with SQL, okay? So if you click on it, you're going to see the different engines we'll be working on. So now for this Express is a pre-configured settings by AWS. This Express, AWS have already configured all of the settings. We don't need to do anything. We just need to click create and it's going to run for us. Okay, that is why I said use this one so you don't really stress yourself that much. Okay, so you can see here our engine is version 17, our database, the database is Postgres, serverless, blah, 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 blah. So this is pre-configured by AWS already. Okay, it is pre-configured by AWS already. So you use this option if you know you want a pre-configured. If you don't want a pre-configured, you want full configuration, which is you're going to configure by yourself. You click this. This is where you get to choose and configure by yourself. Okay, but I will advise you, for the sake of this class and your tutorial, use the, what's it called, use the express. Okay, so you come here, you click on the express, you click create. So once you click create, you can see our database is created. Okay, this is our database cluster. It is created. And in our cluster, we currently have just one database. This is our database. This is our database instance. Okay, once you create a database, you have your cluster. Your cluster carries your other database that are connected to this. Okay, so once you click that, you come here. So now you can see, if you want code sniffing, okay, which is connecting your code using AWS code, you use this one. If you know you are good with coding, you use this one. Okay, so my advice is use the code sniffing. Okay, so once you've done that, this is your monitoring. You don't need to do anything for your monitoring, it's already configured by AWS. Okay, so you come here to connectivity, and you can see everything is already set up. If you have an issue and you want to troubleshoot, you go to monitoring. Basically, you're going to see what is happening here, why it's not working. Okay, and this is it. You don't need to do any other thing. My database is already set up. Why? Because I use the AWS Express. Okay, so my database is set up. If you want to modify anything, you come here, you click on the modify. Then when you click on modify, you can change the name. If you're not okay with the name, you can do anything. If you want to change the version, if you want to change, if you don't want Aurora standard, you want a different kind of engine, you can change. If you don't want MySQL, you want 16, or if you don't want 16, whatever you want to modify, you can go ahead and modify. But for the sake of this class, I would say just create. You can go through this, but don't try to modify, because you don't. But if you understand what you're modifying, you can go ahead to do that. Okay, so I don't want to overwhelm you with the code bases. So that is basically how you're going to create your database, as simple as that. And now once your database is created, your assessment, you're going to upload a little data to this database. Okay, once you upload that data to this database, okay, you're going to come here. This is where you query your data. You see where it says query editor. This is where you query your data. So we can create our database, which is already created, upload our files. Okay, you upload your files. Once you upload your files, you can go ahead and edit anything or query anything over here. So for your assessment, these are basically what you'll be working with. Your data, which you create over here, okay, using the expense configure. Your query, once you upload, or you connect your database to any query you want to use, this is where you come to query your data. Then your snapshot rather. So your snapshot is where you have your end database, which you have to delete when you're done. You just click on this button and you come here, this action, you delete your snapshot. Please delete your snapshot so that you don't have issues. So this is what you're going to do for your hands-on. Does anyone have a question for this before we move forward? Does anyone have a question before we move forward? Data coach said logs activity in your account. Yeah, that is what logs are. It shows you the activity in your account. So can you recall in your, yes, Annie, yes. Yes, that is the essence of your database. You can recall your data from your snapshots. Yes, you can. Please, coach, what is the essence? So now this is where you query your data. Okay, so now that is why I'm saying you're going to upload just a little bit of data that you have. Okay, now the query is, let's say your data contains price lists. let's say your data is a price list, okay? So and now you want to look for the total of a particular price. Okay, that's that. This one, let me show you. Here where you see the query editor here. I don't know if you can see my cursor. This is where you perform your queries. Okay, you can query your data to get the total price list or get the total of a thing or something depending on your data. So now let's say I am working with a price list and I want to get the total sold item or the total price for an item for the month. So I'm going to go to my query list, my query editor, and perform that query. So that is what it means. Is you understood, Faith? Is you understood before I move on to Lambda? When someone is charged, does it increase if the person has not paid? I don't understand. What does it? I don't understand your question, Choma. Okay, if someone does not pay, no, you have to pay. Please, you have if you're charged, but you all have a monthly tier, right? So you don't need to pay. AWS takes it automatically from your credit. But if you're not using your monthly tier, please, you have to pay. If not, your account will be locked. If you still have your, some of you were given 100 USD, some were giving 200 USD. So if you still have this 100 and 200 USD in your account, you don't need to pay. Once you do anything and it's charged, AWS take it from your account, okay? From this credit, it is called credit. But if you've exhausted your credit and you are billed by AWS, you have to pay. If you don't pay for that month, AWS will terminate your account, please. I meant for the snapshot itself. Can you modify or recall? You can recall your snapshot, but you can't modify your snapshot because snapshot is a what's this? Not necessary for the database. Snapshot is like a copy of your application. So you can recall, yes, 100%. That is why it is there. So if you lost your data, you can recall your snapshot, okay? You can. Okay, so now, in absence of any question, we're moving on to Lambda. So I'm going to switch to Lambda and I will tell you what to do with your Lambda. Okay, so this is all for RDS. I'm going to terminate my RDS right now. Please always terminate your RDS. You can come here. Um, you can see 16 recent. 1 minute. You can see the one I just created right now, okay? It has one instance and one cluster, so we have to delete. And I'm going to show you the snapshot as well. See, because we created, you're going to see the snapshots. You can see no snapshots because nothing is in there. So please, when you upload a document, always check for your snapshot, okay? So now we're going to go here. Once I delete, you're going to see my snapshot document. So we come here and you go to delete as usual. So now you can see the options here. If you want to delete, if you click on the take snapshots, it takes like more like a copy of that and saved it for you. Okay. But if no, I just go on to delete. So for you to delete, what did they say we should type? To confirm deletion, please type delete me. So we just type delete me or copy and paste. So this RDS really takes time to delete. So we're going to come back to it later. Why we switch to Lambda, okay? It really takes long time to delete. It just keeps going like this, like this. So we're going to come back to it later without wasting our time. So now for Lambda, we're moving to Lambda. You come here, you put in your Lambda, okay? So you can see run codes without thinking about server. So you click on it. So this is your Lambda, okay? Now for this Lambda, we're not coding anything. We're going to use a pre-code by AWS as well. So you're not coding anything, okay? So what you do is you come here, you click on create function. Now you're seeing if you know you have your code that you want to create from scratch, you use this, okay? But in this case, please don't use this. I don't want you to create any code from scratch, okay? You're still beginners, okay? you come here, you use a blueprint. Okay, please click this one, use a blueprint. Don't click container image. Container image is for containerization deployment. Okay, please click this one, use a blueprint. And once you click that, use a blueprint, now you can choose. Now you can see the one of the options that we're given is nodes JSON. So if you know you want to run this function using node, fine, go ahead. If you want to change it, you click on it, you can make your choice. Okay, you can make your choice. There are so many options over here. So for this sake of this tutorial, we will leave it on node.json. Okay, so now you come in, you put in your name, the name you want to give your function. Let's say learning section 1. Now, because we choose node.json, that is going to be our runtime. So runtime is what runs your code for you. Okay, that is what is going to be our runtime. Your execution, use another role. No, create default role. Okay, that is what we want. Leave it at create default role. Don't use any other role. Okay, so now you can see because we used a blueprint, which is a pre-configured, sorry, a code sniff that is already there for us. The code is written. You can see this is our code. Okay, you can modify your code and change anything you want, but in this case, for this class, we don't need to modify anything. This code is basically just key event 1, key event 1, all of that, nothing to modify here. So when you come here and you click on create, so you come here, you click on create. It's going to create in a minute. So you can see successfully created. Okay, now you come here, you click on function, you're going to see, you can see what we created is here. Okay, now we've created our lambda. For your assessment, I want you to connect your lambda to S3. You're going to connect your lambda function to S3. S3 is going to be the trigger, and SNS is going to be where you get information. So watch very well. This is how you do it. Now, since you've created your lambda, you come here. 1 minute. If anyone has any question, please put it in the comment section. I'm going to respond shortly, okay? So since we've created our lambda first, then you're going to click on your function which you've created. Once you click on it, okay, you come here. You see where you said add triggers. Basically, your trigger is what lambda is going to respond to when an event occurs. Trigger is nothing more but what should I respond to when an incident happens? We all know what is trigger, right? Do we all know what is trigger? Like in its literal meaning. Do we all understand what a trigger is? When I say a trigger, do we know what a trigger is? Put that in the comment section, please. When I say trigger, do we know what a trigger is? Before I move ahead, do you understand when I say trigger? Yes, okay. Thank you, Mabom. So that's now in this for your assessment, your trigger is going to be S3. Okay. We'll come here, you click on trigger. Okay. So I already have different S3 buckets in my S3 service already. So in your case, if you don't have any S3 bucket, you have to create an S3 bucket. Okay. So now you can trigger with different things, but we are going to trigger using S3. So you can see S3 over here. I click on it. Now you can see, choose the bucket. If you don't have any bucket, you have to create your bucket. Okay. You can see search for buckets. I click on bucket. These are all of the buckets I have in my S3. Okay. Now the one I want to use is the Amazon Connect. I click on it. Okay. Now I have clicked on it. So now, please note where the region where you create your S3 bucket have to be the same region with your lambda. Okay, they have to be in the same region. You cannot create your S3 bucket in US region US East 1 and create your S3 bucket in US is 2. No. So you can see my S3 bucket and my Lambda bucket are both in US is 1. Okay. Please, it has to be in the same region. Okay. So now you pick the S3 bucket you want the trigger to actually work with. Then now you see the event type. What event type do you want? So for the essence of this hands-on, I'm going to choose both all of the objects, which means anytime a object is added, which is put added to my this particular bucket which I have chosen, please lambda trigger. Anytime it is post, please lambda trigger. Anytime a bucket is copied, please lambda trigger. Multiple upload completed, please lambda trigger. So I'm going to choose all of this. And now I will choose all this one as well. Delete. Okay. So I'm choosing this option. Sorry, I'm choosing this option and I'm choosing this option. Okay. So this is the event I want. No, no, no. Let me just choose object create only. It's fine. So these are the options I'm choosing, okay? Every other thing, I'm not choosing any other one because I don't need them. Now you click out. Now we go down. So you can see these are the event types that I've chosen. Now you go down, you can see prefix. We don't need prefix, leave it. It's optional, okay? Now you have come here and agree. You see where it says agree invocation. So you have to click your agree invocation over here. Okay. So once you click this, if you don't click this, it will not create, please. This you have to create to acknowledge. Once you click this, you come here, you click add. So now please use this one to learn how to troubleshoot. Okay, one of the patterns. You can see it says that error occurred. What is the error message we're getting? It says an error occurred while creating the trigger. Configuration overlap. Okay, configuration on the same name cannot share a common event type. This is the trigger. Now, I understand already the issue, okay? But now, if you don't understand the issue, what will you do? You come here. You see where you say diagnose with SQQ. Can you all see this? Can you all see this one? Diagnose with Amazon Q. Can you see it? Put in the comment section if you can see it for me. Can you see diagnose with Amazon Q? Put yes if you can see it. Ah, network is slack. Sorry. Okay. Okay. So now you have to click that diagnose with Amazon Q. Click on it. And this is going to diagnose the issue and give to you. Your account have not been configured to use the SQ configuration. Okay, so mine have not been configured. Okay, but don't worry, it's going to give me the report as well. So you can see here is generating the report for me. So here, I'll just wait for it to finish analyzing and tell me. So it's saying, this is the reason. So it says, try the following steps. This is how you troubleshoot. Now it has given me the steps to try. It said, try the following steps to resolve the error. Navigate to Lambda Learning, blah, 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 blah. Click on Configure, select the trigger from the type, review the S3 trigger, identify which bucket, blah, 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 blah. It has given you all you need to troubleshoot. Okay? It has given you all you need to troubleshoot. If you don't understand this particular pattern, okay, no problem. You click out. Now you come here. You see where it says ask a question, or here where you see this sign over here, you click on it. When you click on it, 1 minute. Now we go ahead to type. We say error with my installation. Okay, please fix. Now let's see. This is how you troubleshoot. AWS wants everyone to be able to use AWS. So they've provided these resources for you. Now you see it's here, it says, let's see. Now it's saying which service, because I have different services. Okay. So now it's asking me which service. This one. This is the one I want, or we can skip. Let's skip. So let me specify the service. Wait, S3, S3, lambda trigger. So error with S3 lambda trigger. So it's asking lambda function is not triggered when permission, blah, blah, blah. Which error? So this is the error I'm facing. I have clicked on that one. Now, you see, it says it's thinking. It's going to go through all of my services and tell me what is happening. You can see steps for configuring. It's giving me the steps. Okay, I'm just showing you this so you can see. So it's giving me all of the steps and blah, 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 blah. So this is what we need. Okay, this is how you troubleshoot. Okay, but right now I know what the problem is. So let's go back and fix our problem fast. So this is how you troubleshoot if you don't understand what an issue is. Okay, so let's close this, go back to our error message and see. An error occurred while creating the trigger, configuration overlap, configuration on the same bucket. Okay, so we have configuration on the same bucket name. So does it mean, okay, so I think we have a previous configuration on this bucket name. So now we have to choose another bucket. So let's choose Emma DevOps and see. So let's choose Emma DevOps. So you see it has created. Why did I have that error? So if you understand, if you know how to read an error message, you can go ahead and read it. If you don't understand how to read an error message, use the AI, okay? So now that problem was because I already had a bucket name that was Emma, for Emma, Amazon Connect. So that is why I can't configure same buckets, okay? So I changed and choose a different bucket and it worked. So now our trigger have been set to Emma DevOps, okay? So now what are we going to do? Once our trigger has been set, now the next steps is for you to set your SNS. So now this essence of the SNS is for you to get notifications. Okay, your SNS is where you get notifications. I want you to add an SNS so you can get notification in your email. Now, the trigger that I picked for this was delete. If any bucket is deleted from Emma DevOps bucket, I want to get an email notification. If a bucket is added, I want to get an email notification. Okay, that is the trigger I picked. So now I want to connect my trigger to AWS SNS service, which is more like an email. You know how you get a bulk email? Yes. So an email notification service. So now we go to SNS. Okay. So you come here, you click on SNS. Okay. This is it. This is the SNS service. You click on it. So once you click on it, so you can see I already have two topics. So I'm going to use one. I don't want to waste anyone. But for your case, this is what you're going to do. You come here, you click on topic. If you don't have any topic previously, you click on create. Okay, so let me just create one for you for the sake of this class. Okay, so the topic you're going to create, you're not going to create FIFO. FIFO is for first in, first out. We don't need that right now. Just create the standard SNS, okay? You come here, learning/S1, okay? You give it a name that you want. Display a name option. This is what, and if you want a name to be displayed in your email, we don't want that. If you want, you can just put class notice or just class assessment, okay? So now you can see encryption. We don't want email encryption. We don't want email encryption or nothing. Okay, so where we want is this. You can see access policy. So this is where we want an access policy. So the essence of this access policy is we want S3 to be able to access, or SNS to be able to access, the both of them should be able to access details from each other, because I want to get a notification when anything happens in that bucket, which the bucket trigger which I picked. Okay, so I'm going to give access to both S3 and SNS for them to communicate. If you don't give access, it will not work. Please take note. Okay, so now you click on basic. You don't need any advanced blah blah blah. So you click on basic, I guess. Then you see where it says pusher, one topic, one owner. I think yes. Only the owner of the topic can push. Everyone now, it depends. If you want for everyone to be able to push, you can pick yes. If you want only the owner of the topic to be able to push this topic, you can pick just the owner. So let's say everyone in this case. Now you can see subscription. So the subscriber, if you want the subscriber to be just the owner, you can pick just the owner. If you want anyone, you can pick anyone. So I'm just going to do just the owner for now, okay? So that is what we need. And use a JSON policy. Now, this is where it says. So now for this JSON policy, okay, for this JSON policy, you need to add this. So let's go back to, okay, I think I can't find my policy. So I can't find my policy. So this is what you're going to do, okay, because we need this policy. You come here, you click on this. I'm just going to tell it now to give me a policy, okay? Give me a SNS, and I hope you guys are seeing what I'm doing, and S3 and S3. No, I already have a no policy, and S3 JSON policy. So this now is going to give you the policy. This is the policy. Okay, if you don't have a policy, this policy we have here will not work for what we want to do. So this, it has given us the policy. So you copy this policy over here. You can close, so I make the screen wider for you. Okay, so we've copied that policy. I'm going to show you what you're going to do with that policy. So for now, let's create first. I'll show you what to do with that policy. We come here, you click create. Once you create, click your create, I'm going to show you how to edit your policy. So now you can see this is created, okay? Your SNS notification is created, okay? So now we come here. You see where it says, this is our topic. You see where it says edit. You click on edit, okay? Now you come here where it says access policy. You click on access policy. You see your JSON here. So you just highlight everything over here, you delete it, and you place that policy, okay? So now, for the sake of this, there is something called, okay, no, I'm going to switch to S3. Let me show you because I can't switch double. So now you go back to your S3, okay? When you go back to your S3 bucket, the bucket you're using, this is the bucket we're using, okay? You click on that bucket. You have to select, you go to properties, okay? Now you have to select this. Can you all see this Amazon resource name? Can you all see the Amazon resource name? Put the yes in the comment section if you can. Can you all see the Amazon resource name? No, not the name literally because my name is blocked. Like, can you see the highlight that I did? Okay. Okay. So now you copy your Amazon resource name. Okay. Now, when you copy your Amazon resource name, you need it. Now you go back to your SNS. So I have copied my Amazon resource name. You just click on the button, it's copied. Now I go back to my SNS. Okay. Okay, so this is my SNS. You just click on your topic. Now the one we're working on is the learning section 1. Now you click on the learning section 1, you click on your edit, and you click on your access policy. And now you see where this place where it says resource, your resource is going to be 1 minute. So your resource is going to be your SNS that you copied. Okay. So let me just copy everything here and paste because I can't even see my screen. So your resource is going to be your SNS that you copied. Okay, just copy that SNS and paste it where you see the resource. Okay, now your resource is going to be your S3. Please, your resource is going to be your S3 SNS. Okay, because that is what you want to connect. So please take notes. So for your resource, you go and you pick your S3 SNS, you copy your resource and you paste it over there. Okay, so this is my S3 and I am pasting it. 1 minute, guys. Oh my God, I can't even see. I can't even see my screen and know what I'm pasting because I've covered everything. So hopefully it's the right thing I'm pasting. So let's paste this and we'll look for all the other resource over here. Let's paste this. So we paste this. So now for where you have your resource, that is what we're going to paste and that is all, okay? So now we go here, we save it. So now that is done. So this is the experiment we're going to have right now, okay? So now you go back to your S3 bucket, our Lambda, let's go to our Lambda. You see our Lambda is created and we have our trigger. Our trigger is the S3. You can see our trigger is the S3. And for the trigger, we have, this is the trigger we have. Let's click on it. So for our trigger, it's delete and let me just show you the details here. So our trigger is object creates. If we create object and remove object, that is our trigger. Okay. So now we're going to go back to S3. So this is the bucket we're working with. This one. Yes, I think this is one. So now we have this bucket in here. So for our SNS, you have to put in the email address that you want this particular one to be notified. Okay, so the email address we're going to use is, now you see where it says create subscription. Okay, you can click here, you can click here, you click on create subscription. Now the topic, it's there. Protocol, we want email. Okay, you choose email. And the email address, let me copy my email address and put there the email address I want us to use. Okay, so for the email address, where's that email address? So for the email address we're using, you just put in your email address where you want the notification to be sent, and that is all. You click on it. Now you have to look out for that email address because a mail will be sent there. So let's open our email address and see. Google. So let's open our email address and see if an email has been sent there. Okay, so I'm going to share my email address with you, screen with you shortly. Okay, so let me just share my email address screen with you so you can see that it's been sent there. So remove, stop, and I will share my email address screen with you. So share. So this is my email address. You can see I already got the notification. So you can see AWS notification, right? So you click on it. Once you click on it, you click on confirm, okay? Confirm subscription. Once you click on confirm subscription, your subscription is confirmed, okay? So now that is it. And then you go back. And then you go back and so let me go back to my Lambda. So now our subscription is confirmed already. So that is all we need here, okay? So now we're going to go to our S3 and trigger. Let's see if it works, okay? So now remember the trigger we did was if a bucket is created, if a bucket is deleted, we need to get notification. So let's try to add one random bucket into it. So let's just upload something, okay? So let's just add something to it. Let's say we're adding this and I have uploaded a bucket to it. So let's see. So I have successfully uploaded a bucket to that AWS trigger. So let's see if we got a notification, okay, that a bucket has been added to our email. So let's check on our email. Not this one, this one. Okay, so we got 1 minute. I'm going to share my screen with you. So let me try deleting this. And let's see if it triggers. Delete bucket. Oh, sorry, 1 minute. So we have to come here. You have to come to Lambda. I forgot this part. So when you're done, you have to come see Lambda where you see. Sorry, not Lambda. Your S3 where you see properties. Your S3, you click on this S3 bucket, okay? Where you see properties, I think it's properties or permission. You scroll down, you see events. You see events. Yeah, you see where you see events, okay? You have to create events. I forgot to create events, okay? You have to create events. Let's see S1. That's the event we want to create. My event is this and my event is this, okay? And that is enough for what we want to create. And now the event is lambda, this one and this. Unable to, so let's see what happened. I, so why it is diagnosing? So let's see. I think in my lambda I chose a different bucket, my S3. So let's see. In my lambda I chose a different bucket in my S3. I could remember. So we come here, we choose our lambda, we choose this is the bucket I chose. Yes. So I chose the correct bucket. So but let's see edit. What are the triggers we chose? So the trigger I chose is create and delete, which is correct. So now let's go back to our S3. S3. So for S2, we click on the permission. And let's see. For your event has to be connected, if not, it will not work. So you can see there's no event here. So I have to delete this event. So delete this and create another event. So deleted, now create event. Event name is S1. Image, just leave it blank. My event is this and my event is this. And I go down. I want from Lambda. I'm supposed to choose SNS somewhere. I'm supposed to choose SNS somewhere. No, my event direction has to be yes. So you see, this your event direction. Please take note. So your event direction has to be SNS, okay, not Lambda, okay. So your event direction, destination rather, it has to be SNS. If you choose Lambda, it will not work. So I think this is learning one. So we create event, okay. So once you save, what is the diagnose again? Let's see what's our diagnose. Let's see what's our diagnose. So please, if you have any question, put that in the comment section while we diagnose what's happening. Oh my God, please help me. Faith, Faith, you're such a clown, this girl. I said to God, you're such a clown. What is God helping you for? This is easy. Don't worry, you're going to master it. Ma'am, do you mean Amazon resource name we copy from? Yes, your Amazon resource name, please, is the S3 because the S3 is where you want the information. Okay. So this says, why did we create before pasting the general public? So you have to create because if you don't create, where are you going to paste your policies? Okay, I'm going to drop the what's it called for you now. You have to create there. If you don't create, where are you going to put your policies? So attendance is in the comment section. Please fill your attendance. Okay. If you have any issue with attendance, please let me know. So why we go on? Please, once everyone is done filling attendance, let me know, okay? So let's see what's happening. So it says condition verify the email has the necessary. Ah, that's true. If your email doesn't have the permission to receive notification, that's true. But this particular was confirmed, so it should have because this is the company email. It's saying if the email doesn't have the permission to receive notification, it will not go through. And I don't want to use my personal email for this. So I'm using Blooming Heart email. But basically, that is what it is. Does someone want to give us? No, no, no. I can't use any other person's email to try this. So please, your email address have to be so it have to the permission have to allow notification from outside source. Okay. My email, I think the Blooming Heart email I'm using doesn't have that permission. I think the Blooming Heart email I'm using doesn't have that permission. Please, if you have any question, put that in the comment section. The form for attendance is in the comment section, please. So this is how basically you create and link your S3 bucket with your Lambda, okay? And the essence of this is for you to get notification when an issue occurs in your account, okay? That's the essence of it. So I'm going to send this to your Slack, and this is going to be assessment for today, okay? So please, your email address, if you're using an email address, if you're using the company email address, it's always affected with the company email address. Use an email address that allows notification from outside source, please. Okay. Do we choose RODS or Lambda as a topic? No. So you are deploying for your assessments, you're deploying RDS. Okay, for your RDS, you're just going to create your RDS using the Express creation. You're not configuring anything. AWS already configured that for you. Okay, and you just deploy and show me that you deployed it successfully and you canceled it. Okay, so for your Lambda, you're just going to create your Lambda. You add your S3 as the trigger and your SNS as the notification email address. Okay, so that is all you're going to do. Okay, any other question? Attendance submitted. Thank you. Have we all submitted attendance? Have we all filled the attendance? Have we all filled the attendance? Done. Okay. Have everyone filled the attendance? Do we choose? Have everyone filled the attendance? Let me know. Yes. Okay. So I'm assuming everyone have filled the attendance. Please, I don't want anyone to leave here without filling the attendance sheet. Yes, you have. Okay. Okay. So, any other question? Because this is your assessment. Any other question before I leave? Thank you, Ruth. What do you mean you chose RDS already? What are you choosing? I don't know. What are you choosing? Digital coach, what are you choosing? What are you choosing, please? You're welcome. Queen, you're welcome. What are you choosing? I didn't ask you to choose AWDS or Lambda. I never said that. You're doing the both. Nobody's choosing anyone. When are we submitting? You're submitting on Thursday. Okay. Please, when you're doing this, use an email address. Preferable, use your own personal. Don't use company email address. So there's no restriction with what I just faced right now. Also, what are you choosing AWDS already? I'm not telling you guys to choose. You guys are confusing me. Essay, where have you been? Okay, 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 okay. Okay, no problem. It's fine. You can choose RODS. It's fine. Yes, it's fine. Yes, you can choose RODS when selecting. Yeah, it's fine. It's okay. Yes, you can choose RODS. It's fine. Yes, it's fine. So, any other question before we leave? So, this assessment is going to be submitted on Thursday, okay, together with the assessment for tomorrow. Really? Okay, okay. I didn't see it. Indirectly I was looking for you. Let me just say. Okay. So, okay, thank you. Thank you. So, if there's no other question, it's fine. Anybody you all can choose out. Yes, it's fine. In absence of any other question, so we're going to call it a day. Did you enjoy the class for today? Did you all enjoy the class for today? Did you all enjoy the class for today? Today was more of hands-on. The assessment details will be pasted on. I'm sorry, Gary. Let me show you. I'll just bring that up. But a detailed assessment. So please, as always, delete resources once you're done, and secure your AWS account so someone doesn't use it and give you for you to incur charges. And this section will cover RODS, Lambda, and showed you both hands-on. And this is your assessment, okay? You're going to explain RODS and Lambda in your own words and give an hands-on on the both of them. Okay, send me the screenshots, okay? And that's it for today. So your next section, which is tomorrow, we're covering another database that is owned by AWS, is called the DynamoDB and Elastic Cache. If you want to read that up before coming to class, you can, okay? So did you all enjoy the class for today? Um, yes, I enjoyed today class. Yes, we enjoyed it until we do this girl. Roots. So we enjoyed it until we do our assessments. Very naughty people that I'm teaching. I also enjoyed today's class. It's going to be interesting to do assessment without step to say. Yes, yes. I like that spirit. I like that spirit. It's going to be interesting to do assessment without step to step. Let me see. This is where I'm going to see everyone that has been following in class. Okay, so thank you everyone. Thanks for joining, and I'm going to see you tomorrow. I will drop your assessment in the Slack channel. Okay, please. I've shown you how to troubleshoot. You can see even when I was doing my, I encountered one or two errors. Right? Please learn to troubleshoot. That is why I'm not going to provide you a step-to-step guide. Okay, not for any other reason. Okay. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Thank you. See you tomorrow. Why should she DM me? You too, my love. Thank you so much. Thank you. Good night, everyone. See you tomorrow. Bye. Concerning the Lambda, at step, you had issues with Lambda? Adaku, you had issues with Lambda? I don't think she has issues with Lambda. But anyway, at step, if you had issue with Lambda, please DM me, okay? Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody. Thank you all. If you have any issues, please, yes, ask. You can ask me in the Slack channel, okay? Thank you, everyone. Bye.